Good morning and a very warm welcome to all in this e-learning program. Friends, you already know that we are doing the revision session, and in this revision session we are doing something with respect to NCERT. So let us have a quick look at the lesson number 5, coal and petroleum. This was the very first lesson we did it on board. So officially on board the first lesson was chapter 5. Other 8 and chapter 8, 9, 3, that was done on digital screen. This was on board, very first lesson. So chapter number 5, coal and petroleum. Let us start on with the chapter. Here it is. Chapter number 5, which is coal and petroleum. First of all, in the very beginning, you are having that. Here we are with chapter number 5, which is coal and petroleum. Let us have a quick look at the whole of the lesson. First of all, what are the materials we are using in our day-to-day life? They are of which type? Whether they are natural or man-made, or what type of resources they are. That is the very first thing which is given over here. We use various materials for our basic needs. Some of them you find in nature, some are man-made. So, those substances which are available from nature, what are they called as? Natural resources. Very first activity. Make a list of various materials that is used by us in our daily life and classify them as natural and man-made. Definitely these are the things which you have already done in your lower standards. Whatever thing you find near you, just try to categorize that as natural and man-made. I am giving you 1 minute time to do it right now in your books. Okay? Only just minimum 5 natural man-made and 5 natural and man-made. Make a list of just 5 substances. Quick. I'm giving you exactly 1 minute time and your time starts now. Try to write it quick. With this, your 1 minute gets over. Just a normal thing, that is to categorize any substance as natural or man-made. If you'll see around you, you will find something which are natural, something which are man-made. Ultimately, we are depending on the nature. Very important thing. Can air, water and soil be exhausted by human activities? You have already studied about water. Is water a limitless resource? Just think over it. What will be your answer? See, water or any other resource, whatever we talk about, these resources are such that their basic classification is done into 2 ways. That is, either they are exhaustible or inexhaustible. Those resources which can be used only once, and once used they get completely exhausted and they get over, like petroleum, coal, they are called as exhaustible resources, while those resources which are available in plenty like air, water, they are called as inexhaustible resources. So classification of resource. Those resources which are available, the availability of various things in the resource in nature. So whatever things you are getting from nature, what are they called as natural resources. And how are they classified as? Classification is like this: inexhaustible, inexhaustible. Those which get completely used up, they are called as exhaustible, while the other one is called as inexhaustible natural resource. Those resources are present in unlimited quantity and they are not likely to get exhausted in the near future. They are called as inexhaustible natural resources. Coming to the next particular part, that is exhaustible natural resources. Amount of resources in the nature is limited and they get exhausted by the use of human. Which are those? Right now only I gave you the example of coal and petroleum. Yes, these are the one which are exhaustible natural resource. Okay, now let us start on with the lesson, which is coal and petroleum. You have already heard about this coal. Coal is one of the fossil fuel which is used to cook food. Not right now, but before days. Earlier, it was used in the railway engines to produce steam, to run with the engine with it. It is also used in the thermal power plants to produce electricity, and it is used as a fuel in various industries. Okay, so this is basic information about the coal. Now, coming to the next part, which is the story of the coal. Now, what this coal is made up of and how it was formed. Many years ago, all the plants and the animals, whenever they were buried inside the earth, the anaerobic thermal degradation took place, and constantly because of higher temperature and higher pressure, what happened is this particular thing, that is coal, was formed. Whenever all the carbon got accumulated, then because of high temperature and high pressure, this was formed. So here it is about the formation of the coal. About 300 million years ago, the earth had dense forest in low-lying wetland areas. Due to natural process like flooding, this forest got buried inside the soil, and more soil got deposited inside them and they got compressed. Temperature also rose as they sank deeper and deeper. If you know about the basic earth's crust, then this is how it actually is. So at high temperature and high pressure, inside the surface of the earth, the components are formed. Let's have a look at the various components. There are many layers of the earth. Among the many layers, this is the outer one, which is called as crust, and this is the inner core. Okay, this inner core is having very high temperature. How much high? Of about 5000 to 6000 degrees Celsius temperature. Now, this much amount of high temperature, that is about 5000 to 6000 degrees Celsius. Because of that very high temperature that is existing in the inner core, that heat, where it will go, ultimately it will go over here a little bit, and over here, if at all the plants and its remains are there, then what will happen? Constantly, because of high temperature and high pressure, all the carbon content got accumulated, and this carbon content which got accumulated because of constant high temperature, high pressure, it got converted into a fossil fuel, and that's why the coal is called as a fossil fuel, because it is formed from vegetation. So this is about the story of the coal. The thing that we talked about. So this is the important and the key part. Under high pressure and high temperature, the dead plants, they got slowly converted into coal. It contains mainly carbon, and the slow process of conversion of dead vegetation into coal is called as carbonization. Since it is formed from the remains of the vegetation, it is also called as fossil fuel. One of the very important key part. So please note down this. Then we'll move further on the various further part. So I hope you have noted it. Now let's move further. So this is about the coal. When we are heating coal, then the various components that are formed is coke, coal tar and coal gas. You already know that whenever the coal is heated at about 1000 to 1400 degrees Celsius temperature in the hard glass test tube in absence of air, then it is called as thermal degradation of the coal, that is the destructive distillation of coal. So if we talk about the basic destructive distillation of coal, then after the destructive distillation of coal we get three things: coke, coal tar and coal gas. What is coke? It is a tough, porous and black substance, almost pure form of carbon. It is used in the manufacturing of steel and in the extraction of many metals. Among them, the very important and a key part about coke is that it is used in the reduction process. In metallurgy, that is, whenever coke is used with any metal oxide, then it will give the output as carbon dioxide and metal. The oxygen content will get removed because carbon will quickly combine with the oxygen, it will form carbon dioxide, and metal will be obtained by the reduction of metal oxide. What is the meaning of the word reduction? Oxide gets converted into a particular metal, metal oxides get converted into metal. So this is the very important part of coke which you are going to study further in your higher standards. Next, the further component of the coal, which is coal tar. When heated in air, coal burns and produces mainly carbon dioxide gas. Coal is processed in industries to get some useful products like coke, coal tar, and coal gas, and about 200 substances. Products obtained from coal tar are used as tarring material for manufacturing various substances which we are using in our day-to-day life. And the very important use of the coal tar is, you already know, it is used for making synthetic dyes, drugs, explosive, perfumes, plastics, paints, photographic materials, roofing materials, etc. Naphthalene balls, which are used to repel moths and other insects, they are also obtained from coal tar. These days, bitumen, a petroleum product, is also used in place of coal tar for metaling the roads. Okay. So this is the NCERT content which is not given in Prache. Okay. Some of the words. So please note it down quick. Note down this just use of coal tar. About the naphthalene balls, okay, I think you might be knowing that white color balls that is generally used in for keeping safe the some of the cloths, some of the like you can say Godana and Eubadu for them, they are using this naphthalene balls to preserve them. So I hope you have noted. Now let's move further. Coal gas. It is obtained during the processing of coal, that is the destructive distillation of the coal. And it is used as fuel in many industries which are situated near the coal processing plants. These days, bitumen, a petroleum product, is used in place instead of coal tar that we already know. Coal gas was used for street lighting for the very first time in London in 1810 and in New York in 1820, that is 200 years before from today. Nowadays it is used as a source of heat rather than light. Okay, so sometimes these things may be useful to you. Okay, this important parameters. Where it was first used in London, then after 10 years New York, and now it is not used for lightning. What it is used for? Heat resource. Note down that. Very simple content. Noted? Next, petroleum. Now, how was the petroleum formed? And nowadays, if we talk about petroleum, then the basic source of petroleum, you are knowing that it is the mineral oil that is obtained from the crust. If we talk about petroleum, then I hope you remember that advertisement which I discussed with you. A father and his son, they were moving, and the father was talking to the son, and they were going in the car, and at that time the signals came, and when the signals came, what happened was, because of that signal which came, the car had to they had to stop the car, but the car was not turned off, and because of that the resource was in use. So the child said to the dad that when I grow up, I will make a cycle repairing shop. The father was just shocked, like, why is my son saying like this, ke main bada hoke I will make a cycle repairing shop. At that moment, father asked the son, why you are saying such? Then at that moment, the son replied that the way you people are using the resource, I don't think in the near future I'll get it. So because these things are available in very limited quantity, we need to use it properly. Yes, we need to save. Not even only petrol and coal and something like that, we also need to save all the resources. Water and electricity, all these things are just a boon to us. So we need to utilize. Okay, now we are going to have a look at the petroleum. Petrol, it is used as a fuel in light automobiles like motorcycles, scooters and cars. Heavy motor vehicles like trucks and tractors, they are using petroleum product which is diesel. Petrol and diesel, they are obtained from the natural resources, that is petroleum, that is obtained from the mineral oil. Do you know how petroleum is formed? Try to recall, we have already done. Okay, so recall how was petroleum formed. Just recall, we have already done. Think about this, try to recall. I will come back to you again in 1 minute, and in 1 minute you have to tell me how the petroleum is formed. Okay, be quick, yaad karne ki koshish karo. We have already done about the formation of petroleum. This diagram will be helpful to you. Try to recall and think. I hope you have got what point I was trying to explain you, what thing I was going to make you recall. I was going to make you recall regarding this formation of petroleum. Because of constant temperature, pressure, the materials that get covered beneath the ocean, and above them, you know, all the sand materials, it gets accumulated, and constant temperature, pressure beneath the ocean, it converts all the fossil materials after lakhs of years into petroleum. Yes, here it is. It was formed by the organisms which are living in the sea. Whenever these organisms die, they get settled at the bottom of the sea, and it gets covered by many layers, and for millions of years, in the absence of air at high temperature and high pressure, the dead organism get transformed into natural gas that is collected above the mineral oil and the mineral oil. So this is about the formation of the petroleum, the story of petroleum. Very important point. Okay, note it down quickly. Only in this much part. So I hope you have noted it. Now let's move further. This is the diagram. Here you can see that above water you are having the oil and gas. Why can we see oil and gas above the water? Because oil is lighter than water and they are not going to mix up with each other. Some of the very basic information regarding the petroleum. It was world's first oil. It was drilled in Pennsylvania in USA in 1859. 8 years later in 1867, oil was struck at Makum in Assam. In India, oil is found in Assam, Gujarat, Mumbai High and in the river basins of Godavari and Krishna. These are the places where we get the petroleum. No need to memorize it, it's okay. Coming to the refining of petroleum, we have already done about the refining and we already know that petroleum, it is heated in the furnace and then it is allowed to go into the distillation tower, and in that the various components are obtained. So this is how the various things are obtained. It is a dark oily liquid. It has an unpleasant odor. It is a mixture of various constituents like petroleum gas, petrol, diesel, lubricating oil, paraffin wax, etc. And the process of separating the various fractions, it is called as refining, and it is carried out in the petroleum refining. We have already discussed about the fractional distillation of petroleum. So many useful substances are obtained from the petroleum and the natural gas, and they are termed as petrochemicals, and these are used in manufacturing of detergent fibers, that is polyester, nylon and acrylic, polythene and many other man-made plastics. Hydrogen gas is obtained from the natural gas which is used in the production of fertilizers like urea. It is also used due to its great commercial importance. Petroleum is also called as black gold. Okay, so this can come as a very important give reason. Try to recall regarding the fractional distillation of petroleum. Try to recall. We have already done the fractional distillation of petroleum. Here we had the furnace, and after heating the petroleum from here, we kept it in the distillation tower, fractional distillation tower, where there were all the various chambers were separated by these perforated shelves. Try to recall, and depending on the temperature rise and how the temperature got rising, it was getting separated. At the top we had the petroleum gas, and in the bottom the lubricating oil and the various other materials were collected. So this is how the fractional distillation of petroleum is carried out. So this is about an important part regarding the refining of petroleum. Please note down this content quickly. Here is the various things which are available from petroleum and their use. Petroleum gas, that is LPG, it is used as fuel in home as well as in industry. Then petrol, you already know it is used as a fuel in the automobiles and as a solvent for dry cleaning. Coming to kerosene, it is used as a fuel even in the jet planes and in the stoves. Coming to the diesel, it is used for all the material, all the machines, or for running all the electric generators, and as a fuel in the heavy vehicles like tractors. Lubricating oil is generally used for lubrication. Paraffin wax for making candles, vaseline, etc. Bitumen, it is used for paints and the road surfacing. So these are few of the uses. Then comes natural gas. It is very important fossil fuel because it is easy to transport through pipes and it is stored under high pressure and compressed natural gas. CNG, where it is used for power generation, and now it is used as a fuel for the vehicles. You already know CNG cars and are available, CNG auto rickshaws. So why it is used? Because it is less polluting, a cleaner fuel. So that is the biggest advantage of the CNG. That is, it is having like it is creating very least pollution. So it can be used directly for burning in the homes and in the factories. It can be supplied through the pipes. Such a network of pipeline is existing in Vadodara, in Gujarat, and in some parts of Delhi. So this is about the natural gas, and this is one of the very important key reasons. It is used as a fuel for transport vehicles. Okay, so these 2 points are very important. Note it. Then we'll move further. Coming to the next part, natural gas. It is used as a starting material for many of the chemical factories and fertilizers. And India is having a very big reserve of natural gas, and where it is found in Tripura, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, and in the Krishna Godavari regions. Important thing is we need to understand that natural resources are limited. Yes, we are exploiting the nature to the great content, and that is the major problem, and this thing is given in many of the chapters. The pollution, the extra use of all these natural resources, it is just to make you understand and to educate you that these resources need to be used properly, judiciously, so that it can be available for the near future. Okay, so we all know that coal and petroleum, they are fossil fuels, and it takes lakhs of years for the formation. And on the other hand, the known reserves are also, they are very having very less in proportion of everything. And the burning of these fuels now, it is a major cause of air pollution, and that is, the major reason of global warming. Next is natural resources are limited, and it is therefore needed that we use them judiciously. This will result into the better environment, smaller risk of global warming, and their availability for the longer period of time. In India, PCRA, that is Petroleum Conservation Research Association, it is advising the people on how to use the petroleum. Okay, so if any doubts, you can ask me, and you can get your doubts cleared. And this whole of the explanation is NCERT based, because chapter we have already done from Prachi textbook. Some of the points that were not included in Prachi, they are getting covered up over here. So the quick revision is done over here of this lesson. That's all for the content of the day. Thank you so much, my dear students, for listening to me, and have a very good day. And that's all. We'll meet further with the further content. That's all. Bye bye.